In today's video, you'll learn how to replace your B2B lead generation programs with tactics that will deliver higher pipeline and revenue while improving your overall marketing strategies. Let's take it to the next level. Hi everyone, I'm Carl. Welcome to Next Level Marketing, where you get the latest strategies, tactics, and trends to help you achieve your marketing and business goals. In our last video, I went over the major problems with B2B lead generation programs and why it's less effective in 2022. In today's video, I go over the 5 strategies you can use to replace these programs to make your marketing efforts much more effective. But before we get to those strategies, here are several reasons to help your marketing teams make that shift and help you convince your leaders why it's necessary. So the first step is I want you to look at your metrics. I want you to go into your CRM and look at the win rates of your marketing source channels. I want you to look at lead to close win, lead to opportunity, and even demo request to opportunity, and see which marketing channels are actually driving the highest win rates. Then I want you to look at pipeline velocity. This is how fast your prospects are going through your sales cycle to becoming customers and delivering revenue. You want to take a look at which channels are delivering higher velocities. And usually you can probably see that leads coming in from, paid social and low intent channels are having very low pipeline velocity. Then I want you to look at customer acquisition cost and customer acquisition cost payback. This is how much it costs to acquire a customer and how long it takes to pay back the marketing costs of that acquisition. I actually go over these metrics and more in a previous video, and I'll leave a link in the description below. The second thing I want you to do is understand your customers better. This means being in regular communication with your customers so you know how they perceive your industry, your product, versus how you perceive your product or how you think they perceive your product, and see if there's any gaps. One of the easiest ways to do this, and we've been doing this for the past several months and the results have been amazing, and the data that we've been getting is very insightful, is on your demo request form, put an additional field that says, how did you hear about us? Make it mandatory and make it free-flowing. So don't put a drop-down where they can select options, just let them write whatever they want. So for example, at Benevity, 70% of our demo requests, our sales accepted leads, our opportunities are saying they've heard about us through word of mouth or referral. And the last 30% is usually through Google search or some sort of online research. But our attribution software is all over the place, saying things like direct traffic, paid search, organic search. But if you actually map those out, a majority of direct traffic, organic search, paid search are usually word of mouth. And if you really think about it, when people are making the decision to buy a complex B2B product, they're talking to their peers, they're making their decisions, and they're doing their research way before they actually get to Google. And Google is the culmination of that. So whether they go to Google, paid search, organic search, go to review sites, go to your websites, talk to your sales teams, already I would say 60–80%, I think the McKinsey study posted it out, about 80% of the sales process is already done. So all that research and all that buying decision has technically been made. Another easy way to regularly communicate and get feedback from your customers is bring them on your show, your podcast, your video series, whatever that is. That way you're not only creating content for your content marketing program, but you're getting a lot of feedback and insight in real time. I know we do this quite often, and the insights that we're getting from customers or prospects in these in the podcasts you can't really get them anywhere else. Another way is win-loss calls. So for every customer that you've won, and with every customer that you've lost, try to do an interview and see what happened. Why did they select us? What were their fears? What were their questions? What were their problems? How did they hear about us? And really record those conversations, both win and loss, and you can really gain a lot of insight from those. And with these 3 tactics, you can get great insights and a general overview of what your customers and prospects are thinking. And the final thing you can do is send out a survey. I would recommend maybe doing this once every year and really, ask them really 10 specific questions that help provide those insights that you're looking for. So the final thing I would recommend doing is focus on creating demand and create demand channels and capturing demand and capture demand channels. I actually go over the strategy of create demand and capture demand in another video, and I'll leave that in the description below. But it's really about understanding the intent of the channels and the intent of your prospects or the users of those channels. So let me give you an example. Social channels are create demand channels. This is where people go to be educated, learn, connect, engage with other people, not to be sold to. While paid search channels are more capture demand channels. because people are searching for specific things. Could be specific to your product, your industry, or anything connected to what you're selling. So the key here is to understand the intent of these channels and deliver your message, whether organic or paid, accordingly. But the one key thing here to remember is that your ideal customer profile, or your ICP, there's only 5 to 7% of them who are actively looking for your solution at this moment. There's about 95% that are not actively looking, but would be really beneficial for you to get your messages in front of. Instead of trying to compete with all your other competitors, trying to go after that 5 to 7%. So here's 5 simple strategies that you can make a change in your marketing program to switch over from lead generation. So the first change is through paid social ads. Paid social is still a great way to deliver your message to your ICP, but it's a terrible way to generate leads that actually convert. So instead of driving people to gated content landing pages, demo request forms, trial signups, or even using the in-platform lead gen ads, get people to consume your content in platform. So focus on great copywriting and great creative so people can consume it, and it's eye-catching in platform so that they remember you when they are ready to buy. So the next change is to make sure your paid search ads are focused on those with buying intent. Making sure your keywords that you're bidding on have commercial or buying intent and not driving to gated content. I've seen too many companies drive paid search ads to gated content pieces, and to me, it's the biggest waste of money, because paid social is probably the better way, and people are on these channels have a more focus to get educated and to learn, and you're gonna be able to reach more people, rather than paid search where people have to have intent on what they're searching for, and most likely not the intent to reach a gated content piece. Think of keyword prefixes and suffixes, I think that's correct, suffixes, words before and after your keywords that show buying intent. Things like versus, best of, software, service, whatever it is that shows buying intent in your industry. And also pay attention to your negative keyword list. There's so many companies that just have broad match and they're trying to bid on all these words without actually a negative keyword that doesn't focus on their prospects or their ICP. So they're reaching way too many people. So the third change is understanding what type of ads you're creating and the messages you're delivering. Now for demand generation, what you're really looking for is the people who are problem aware, solution aware, and company aware. Are you creating ads and content and messaging for each of these stages? Now, I have a more simple way, and I usually use these 4 questions. So 1, does the prospect know about the problem that your business solves? 2, does the prospect know that your company solves their problems? 3, does the prospect know about your products, your features, your UVP, your values, or your perspectives when they're actually researching your solution? And finally 4, has the prospect seen your product in real life situations? If you can answer these 4 questions with your ads, your messaging, you'll definitely be in a better spot that when your prospects are ready to buy, you'll be top of mind. Because remember, as I said earlier, only 5 to 7% of your ICP is actively looking for a solution. There's the rest of the 95% that are not. And the best way, the best marketing, the best marketers want to reach that 90% than trying to compete with that 5 to 7% where all your other competitors are doing, whether it's through paid search, SEO, review sites, sales, and so on. And the 4th change, and it's not really a change, it's more of an optimization to your lead capture intake. It's making sure that whenever somebody actually has an intent to buy and they either fill out that demo request form or fill out that trial sign up, it's a smooth process for them. That means making sure that when they do sign up, that they get an immediate response, whether it's through your AE or your BDR or your SDR or your account managers, whoever it is connecting, that they connect right away. So one thing that's worked for us is whoever is reaching out to the people who've signed up for a demo or a trial, actually have them create a video and place it on the landing page of your demo request. Because that way you can immediately gain kind of that emotional connection, or at least just a general connection between your company and the prospect. It's actually the first real person that they're gonna connect with. So it's great that they have a video of the person, and when they fill out the form, they're actually connecting with that same person in the video. And make sure to optimize your sales and BDR handoff. So if you need to hand off from a BDR to sales, make sure that all of that is optimized so the prospect can easily move through your funnel without any delays. And one final thing, to maybe include a product tour really brief one, could be about 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe even 30 minutes. And I would stick this in the thank you page of your demo request form or your trial sign up to give your prospect a quick overview about your product. There's so many times when people have to wait, connect with an SDR, then connect with an AE, have all these questions answered, and it's a really drawn out process when most people just want to see what your product's about. So maybe it's an opportunity for you to record some key bits of past demos, find some common themes, and then create like a product tour that people can see. And they don't waste any time with any questions that could be solved with a small product tour. And the final piece is make sure you're building an audience with your content, whether that's your video series on YouTube or your podcast or a combination thereof, or even your blog. And really, when we're talking about an audience, you have to create a minimal viable audience. I don't know what that is for your industry. It's very different. It could be 500, could be 10,000, could be 100,000, whatever it is. When you reach that, you now have an opportunity to turn that audience into a community. And by turning your audience into a community, you're really setting your marketing program and your business up for the long term. So just to recap these 5 simple strategies. 1, your paid social ads, focus on delivering your message in platform rather than focusing on lead generation. 2, make sure your paid search ads are focused on buying intent and not driving to gated content pieces. 3, make sure you're creating content for those who are problem unaware, problem aware, solution aware, and company aware. And 4, make sure you're optimizing your lead intake process and make sure your prospects are flowing smoothly through your sales funnel. And finally, 5, build an audience. Moving from lead generation to these strategies is a difficult process. There's people you have to convince, your teams you have to convince, processes, metrics that you all have to change through, but it's really worth it. And it's definitely difficult because all of us, and I know for me specifically, we've been taught and we grew up learning the performance-driven marketing method from HubSpot, from Salesforce, driving from leads on gated content to email nurture, then to a BDR sales motion. But remember that it's 2022. People have changed, how the buying process has changed, and how customers are researching and making buying decisions has changed, and we've got to adapt to it. So if you want to learn more about the create demand and capture demand and more modern B2B strategies, you got to check out this playlist here. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in our next video.